What's up, everyone? Okay, so Happy New Year, first of all. Okay, even though like tomorrow's the New Year, but it's New Year's Eve. I kind of just want to talk about it, like the whole year. Um, First of all, right? Like I've realized that on Instagram and like social media and all that lot, like everyone's always like, "Oh, next year will be my year. Next year will be my year." But I really think that today, like not today, but like this whole year has been my year. Um, Although like a lot of stuff has happened, and I do have a lot of regrets and happy times, but I think like this year was a good year. It was a really good year. One thing I do miss the most about this year has got to be going to Thailand. I went to Thailand in 2024, and now it's 2025, and tomorrow is 2026. Now, I feel like this year has gone by way too fast. I remember last year was the year when I basically changed my life and my perspective on everything. And that was when I went to Thailand, And like, I know I don't really talk about it too much, but that's just because I kind of like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff there that I love and miss, and wish I could go back and redo and everything. And I don't like talking about it because there was one big thing that happened, which is probably my biggest regret. And it was, you know, it was a big thing in my life, because they got me through everything, and like, you know, it just made my trip there so much better. And I know people are always like, "Oh, next year's gonna be my year," but I honestly think, like, if you put yourself out there and do the things that you are scared of doing, then that year would be your year. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys for this year, if you guys do at least one big thing, for example, going abroad, that's what I did last year, and it changed my life. It changed my perspective on things. It, gave me a better insight as to who I am, and I learned so much and created so many good memories and bad ones. But the bad ones I've learned so much from, and I think this year was the best year of my life. You know, I recently just turned 18. Happy belated birthday to me. But I think being 18 is a big number, and like, I know all the millennials are like, "Oh, you're just a kid," and I understand that now. Like, I know I'm just a kid, but it feels like all of us are getting older. You know what I mean? And I think that with becoming older, you learn so much more. And I got the opportunity to go to a whole different country for what, 10 months, basically a year. And I learned so much about people and myself and cultures and everything, and I loved it so much. And I think that the reason why I keep talking about it is because it's the biggest thing in my life that's ever happened to me since day one. And I understand that I've been through so much, but it's just, it's mind blowing, you know um and I loved it so much. And like, no, I'm not gonna cry because it was the best year of my life, but like, then again, I kind of do want to cry because it's just like, wow, like, wow. I've created so many friendships. I've gotten people in Italy, Belgium, Thailand, like all those people I've created friends with, and it's just the best. Like, I've moved around so much that it's just like crazy. I wish y'all a happy new year. Great blessings, great everything. Um, And I understand that some of y'all are going through tough times, and I get it. I've been there. I don't know what y'all are going through, but I hope you guys get through it. I know you will, because, like, everyone does, but, like, just, I just want to get this out there is that, like, I think what we can learn from this year, right, is that, you know, you're going to go through a lot of stuff, and you're going to have so many challenges and everything, but never give up. And, always, be happy. I think that being happy is the best thing. I'm always happy. That's a lie, because no one's always happy. But, like, I try to find the good in things everywhere I go. Today, random story. I was walking to my friend's house, and, like, I tried. Okay, first of all, for my birthday, I got a skateboard. Okay, I tried skating to his house, and the wheel got lost. It broke off, and, like, I understand. If you're trying to skate and your wheel falls off, you're gonna be mad. And I was too. I was mad for a bit, but then I realized that not everything is gonna stay with you wherever you go. You know what I mean? You're always gonna lose something for the good, for the better. And you gotta learn to let go. You know what I mean? And you gotta learn how to keep moving forward and find good in everything that happens, whether that's losing a wheel on a skateboard or getting flipped off at randomly by these two kids. Like, that's what happened to me there as well. Like, these random kids drove past me and flipped me off, and I was just, like, smiling, bro, because, like, you never know what someone's going through. And I could have raged at them and be like, this is the reason why my board's broken or something like that. But no, I just smiled and gave them a thumbs up, because, like, I don't necessarily want to be the bad. I want to be the good in everyone's lives, and I want to teach everyone that there's always good in everything. And I know I'm a good person. I do bully people, but that's mainly just friends. But I never ever take anything seriously. I'm very laid back, everything, and I love it. But sometimes you gotta be serious. And I feel like one big flaw about me is that I don't take anything serious, and I don't like confrontation and conflict and all that lot, because I don't want to be in those stressful situations. And being in Thailand, put me through a lot of stressful situations, with learning their language, trying to get by in daily life, figuring out what to do without parents there to help you along. Now, I know that my parents was like, you can always call us and we can help you, but in reality, they couldn't, because they weren't there to help me. And I understood I had peers to have helped me, but I thought that maybe being there with 5 other Americans and some Italians, like, I think that I had to be on my own, because it taught me that no one's gonna be there forever, and I'm not gonna have anyone there sometimes to help me through stuff. And it taught me a lot, and I loved it. I loved it every moment, even though it was stressful in the moment, and, like, I thought I couldn't do it and everything, but I got through it, because I think that believing in yourself is also a really good thing. I tend to not believe in myself much, but I think I can do it. Taking risks is a big thing. I think that 2026 should be a big year for taking risks, because if you take a risk this year, right, then next year, right, you could be in a whole different place. I back then in 2024, I didn't like taking risks. When I got offered the chance to go to Thailand, I said no. And, they gave me a couple of days to decide, and I decided, to go because, like, I didn't understand it. I know my mom, like, pushed me to it and everything. And I'm really grateful she did that. I really appreciate that so much. And I was having overthinking problems and everything, and like I talked to my dad and he gave me a lecture, and it was like, talking about like, you're gonna overthink, you're gonna do this and that, and I think those two things helped me a lot because I took a risk, a very, very big one, that not a lot of people would be able to get the chance to or even take. And I think that 2026, you guys gotta take that risk. Whether you don't see the good in it or that overthinking gets to you, I just want you to do it. Like, imagine the things that could, possibly happen. Like for me personally, big things happen for me. I got, a certificate, 2 certificates, Thai massage, as well as a certificate from the State Department, saying that I completed a whole year in Thailand, and also I built many connections. And, I think that the biggest thing I took from that was that, you just got to take the risk, and I think that it's a really, really good thing. If you throw yourself out there and go into the not normal, you know what I mean? Like the places where you don't feel comfortable, get uncomfortable, because that's when you're going to learn the most about yourself, you know what I mean? I was uncomfortable a lot in Thailand, and, I learned so much and I loved it, Like, obviously, it sounds weird that I find, like, that I love the fact that I was uncomfortable and I learned a lot. But, like, if you think about it, like, if you're uncomfortable, you're gonna learn so much, and then in the future you're gonna love the fact that you actually took that risk, you know what I mean? So look guys, my final message, okay, I've been saying it over and over. It's currently what, 9 p.m. I think, I don't even know, but look guys, this year was a tough year. It was a tough year for a lot of people, I'm assuming. And I just want you guys to know that, you're going to grow, you're going to get older, and you're going to learn so much more. And you're going to meet new people and, travel places and, really be you. And I feel like we should bring that into, 2026. And, find ourselves in 2026. Take that risk. Do what others say they wouldn't do. When I told people that I went to Thailand, obviously I'm getting bullied, but do I care? No, because they'll never understand what I went through, and they'll never understand the beauty and happiness that came from it. You know what I mean? People call me Ladyboy because, that's just a stereotypical thing from Thailand that you'll find. And it's, it's not funny, to me at least, and it annoys me, but then again, on the other side, I understand, like, they've never been to a different country, and they've never understood what it's like to have an experience like that, because, they haven't gotten to there yet. But for me personally, I'm extremely happy for taking that risk. And, I know my year was great. It really was. Next year's going to be better. I'm telling you, man. It's going to be better. It might be worse, but who cares? Just find the good in everything you do. Don't hate on everything, because if you hate, then all you're going to see is hate, and it's not going to be that good. Anyways, yeah, so happy new year. wish you all the best. I'm gonna stop yapping because I gotta get ready to go somewhere. And I love you all. Peace out.